Okay, so in a previous video, we saw that we could bring in 3D models that are animated in 3D modeling software. Something like Blender, you can add your animations there. But what happens if you want to create your own animation within Unity? And so that's what this video is going to be here. So I'm going to take this wall and do something with it. Now there's one key, I think, to animating. Not so much an issue if you're just rotating, but if you're going to move and transform things. Remember that this wall is placed in world space right now. So according to our world space, it's loaded in at this X, Y, and Z position. And so if we build an animation the way I'm going to show you, we're stuck with it being in that place in world position whenever I play it. If I wanted to say, oh, I wish I could move it over here, I have to go rebuild the animation. So what we actually want to do is create an empty object, and then when you put an object to that, so let me just show you. So I'm going to go into create empty, or I could go up here into game object, create empty, right? And I've got this thing. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to double click on it and just call it wall empty. And then my wall is this cube right here. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this wall, and I'm going to make this a child of the wall. Whoops, the wall empty. Be a child. So I'm just trying to drag it into as a child. There we go, finally. Okay, so now our wall is, notice now its position is 0, 0, 0, which it wasn't before. Our wall empty, it is right here, kind of 0 to that. So if you see I move the wall empty, the wall's coming with it, but the wall's still staying at 0, 0, 0. So that's our first thing to kind of just be aware of. So next we're going to make an animation. And so how do we make an animation? Well, you might have it right here. I might have just had that up. If it's not right there, go to wall, animation, animation to bring this window up. If it comes up and it's like somewhere else, you can just simply grab this tab and put it where you want it. And so with our wall object selected, not the wall empty and not nothing and not anything else, we have to create an animation clip. So we're just going to go ahead and say create. And so now we're going to want to save it. And so we want to navigate, and we want to make sure for keeping things clean, we have been keeping everything in this My Assets folder. That at least is stuff that we're building ourselves. So we're going to keep it there, and I'll call this wall animation, and I'll save it. Okay, so now you'll see that you have these two new things that actually wind up going in here. This is a state machine for the wall. This is the animation. So let's go back to the animation here. And this is where we can build a keyframe animation. So to build a keyframe animation, right now you can see I have 1 second going on here. If I kind of scroll, I can bring this, put more in time into it, but by default you have a 1 second animation. That's going to be enough for us for now. If you want to change that, you can just add in keyframes and it will record and stuff, but we're going to do it by simply recording what we do to add keyframes. So I'm going to press this record button, and now I'm going to, maybe just to get it to kind of set itself, I'm going to get it to 0, 0, 0, 0. You'll see we've added these keyframes to this. So now what I'm going to want to do is go further in my time, maybe right here. I'll go to 1 full second, and I'm going to bring this over to here. And so notice now we've added another keyframe. And so if we just go ahead and stop and play this, we'll go ahead and see that wall. But let's do something. Let's have it go back. If we want to have it go back, I'm going to select this keyframe right here, and I'm going to hit Command C to copy. And since this is 1 second, I'll go to 2 seconds. We'll make this kind of slowly lumber across. Let me go a little further here. So at 2 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and paste Command V. So now, if we play our animation, you see how it looks. It goes back and forth across 2 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. And well, let's see what happens here. Let me get my camera and make sure I'm looking at the wall in my default here. So let's see. Am I looking at the wall? Yes, I can see the wall when I go to play. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Play. And it's going to take a second. And now I'm here, and my wall is indeed going back and forth, right? So we've done it. That's pretty easy way to just set a thing animating. But let's go inspect the other things that we can do with this. So again, if we wanted to move this somewhere different, we would go ahead and change this where its position is based on the empty container that we made. But let's look at this and see if there's anything we can use here. So we see here we have this controller, which we saw in another thing where we built the animation controller. We probably obviously want to keep that there. Not much else we could really do here. Let's go into our actual animation here. And here you see we can loop it. We could choose not to loop it, so if I uncheck that, it won't loop. It'll only play once. Cycle offset, not completely sure what that does. Have to play with it. Going back to our project, this is right here. If we double click on this, this is that animation controller. We've seen it before, right? And these are kind of state machines. And so you see whenever we enter the scene, right? So it just automatically plays. Really the thing that you would do here is you might want to change your speed. We could have rebuilt the keyframes, but say we want to slow it down, we would go ahead and make it slower or make it faster based on how far we do this here, right? So let me see if this will make it faster. So let me go there, let me play it and see if it's gone kind of crazy. Wah, 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 wah. So there it is. So you see here, you can animate any like position or anything you want here. We're going to be kind of limited to that because to animate like a part of a model you would need what's called rigging and skeletons and things. We're not going to have that. You would likely build that type of animation within a 3D modeling software, not Unity, the one that you created your thing with. But I think we could go pretty far with just knowing how to make these keyframe animations.